In light of Sonic the Hedgehog's unbelievable success, especially given that his true form was hidden from the public once again, or how actually really good the Tomb Raider movies have been in their two very distinct eras, the whole making a movie out of a video game business practice seems back on track. I've watched a few of these and I'm starting to be able to see where some could have gone wrong from the Hollywood side and where YouTube creators seem to do a hell of a job. The issue that a lot of movies probably shouldn't end up doing in their creation of an existing IP is you shouldn't give audiences a story they've already been told. This is where movies like The Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, Star Trek Into Darkness, as well as several of the Pokemon movies, Max Payne, Hitman 47, which feels just like a retread of Absolution, and just every movie's doing the tragic backstory of a character, being it Batman or Lara Croft. This is not just a problem for video game movies, though, as I've proven, but it's more of a death sentence for video game movies, because you shouldn't be watching a movie and thinking, well, I could be doing this, it could be at home, or worse, just turning off Netflix and play the game right now. You create a system where there is no point in taking part, especially if there's one way where it can be more interactive. So where do we look for good examples? And how, in a lens of making a film good, do we make this possible? Well, let's start with story. Story to movies is a lot more crucial than it is to games. I can play hundreds of hours of a survival sim, play Moonlight, A Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, all that kind of thing, without a real story, and enjoy myself. A movie without a plot is vapid background video footage. A movie with a loose plot needs to live to a standard and can't be outside of the norms of either a horror flick or a John Wick style action spectacle. You can't say you totally watch John Wick for the story substance and not just the mayhem. With that in mind, what game movies have done it right, and what can we look at for prompts? Street Fighter the movie is a cult hit now, regarded closer to the time as one of the worst examples of video game movie tie-ins ever. It's developed a love when people looked at the campy action movies with a lot of love. We have The Expendables, it's the same level of cinematic depth as Street Fighter, just Street Fighter doesn't take itself too seriously and try to make a franchise that has worse and worse CGI as the years go on. Plus, Jean-Claude Van Damme kills it in this movie. This seems to be a similar path with Sonic the Hedgehog's movie and as well as the Resident Evil franchise, the Silent Hill franchise, the Warcraft and Assassin's Creed movies, alongside some masterful fan creations such as Fallout Lanius and Nuka Break as a series. The question is, what is it that they've done and how have they done it so well? The simple answer is that what they've done is they've placed the plot of the movie outside of the stories we've already been told. This makes it a lot easier than just pulling from the original story and ending up with a direct comparison, something the Uncharted movie may be unable to avoid. This is something that kills movies but gives reviewers a heyday as half their script has already been written. This change from the established story as well can be fantastic at expanding the lore and the world of the games and other movies depending on your project. This can be seen in things like Rogue One, the Assassin's Creed movie. It adds more intrigue into the characters' lives and builds hope that can happen. I, for one, would love to see more side characters in the Assassin's Creed universe to understand certain points of the story that games may struggle with. For example, World War II or a Cold War spy thriller, so long as the characters and their established lore in regards to the wiki are stuck to. Speaking of which, did you know that Henry Ford is seen as part of the totalitarian cult order in their world? Assassin's Creed is confirmed as Antifa. That's insane. This is seen amazingly well in the fan-made Lanius and Nuka Break, the latter getting the Assassin's Creed movie treatment of being implemented into the games with an in-game weapon, the Nuka Breaker, which hilariously, I'm not sure if the show creators noticed it was an Easter egg to them, and then they referenced it in the show as a perfectly circular world would create just this Easter egg of an Easter egg of an Easter egg. And these stories add depth to the world they inhabit, and to see more of them in stories like this is pretty perfect. There is a small problem a lot of these movies have though, which they need to address, and that's pacing. Pacing is something that destroys these movies. Assassin's Creed, Warcraft, Max Payne, Tomb Raider, and so many others lose themselves because they focus on bringing a lot of people up to speed with the world so that everybody is at the level of the gamers in the audience. This isn't exactly useful. What the story can easily do is give only the exposition that is needed to make the story work as a movie, and then people, if they like it, will seek out the games, and if not, the worst you can do is make a really good movie. So, with the upcoming Borderlands, Uncharted, and Metal Gear Solid movies in the works, or coming this year, let's hope they live up to this. Let's hope they give us something to be excited about during this pandemic at the very least. And hey, maybe our current world could inspire somebody to make a Pathologic movie. That would be good. Anyway, if you like this video, do the YouTube things. I'll be probably making a number of these and more. And I hope that you've enjoyed this collaboration piece with the amazing people over at Emerald Talks. And I will link this to the rest of the playlist so you can see what everybody else is doing on this topic in the description below. Just go to my Patreon if you want to see more, and have a fantastic day.